Pleasant and a blessed day to one and all. I am Giorgio Tiladrido, and today I am going to discuss the geometric designs in which I will be focusing on the solid, polyhedra, and non-polyhedra. Before I begin, let us first know the meaning of geometric design. Geometric design is a branch of computational geometry. It deals with the construction and representation of free-form curves, surfaces, or volumes, and it is closely related to geometric modeling. Core problems are curve and surface modeling and representation. Geometrical design studies the construction and manipulation of curves and surfaces given by a set of points using polynomial, rational, piecewise polynomial, or piecewise rational methods. And just a quick fact, do you know that the word geometry comes from the Greek word geo, meaning earth, and metria, meaning measure? So let's continue. What is solid in geometry? Well, a solid is the geometry of three-dimensional space, the kind of space we live in. It is called three-dimensional space or 3D because there are three dimensions, which are width, depth, and height. In mathematics, we study shapes and their different types, and we try to apply them in real life. Solid shapes are classified into several categories. Some of them have curved surfaces, some are in the shape of pyramids or prisms. The examples of solid shapes are: number 1, rectangular prisms. A rectangular prism is a polyhedron with two congruent and parallel bases. It is called a cuboid. A rectangular prism has 6 faces, and all the faces are in a rectangular shapes and have 12 edges, and it has 2 pairs of congruent and parallel bases like a 3-dimensional shape. A rectangular prism also has volume and surface area. A rectangular prism is also known as a cuboid. So number 2, the second example is a hexagonal prism. A hexagonal prism is a 3D shaped figure with the top and bottom shape like a hexagon. It is a polyhedron with 8 faces, 18 edges, and 12 vertices, where out of the 8 faces, 6 faces are in the shape of rectangles and 2 faces are in the shape of hexagons. The top and the bottom of the hexagonal prism are shaped as a hexagon and are equal to each other. In the hexagonal prism, the long diagonals always cross the center point of the hexagon, starting from the vertex of the base, whereas the short diagonals do not cross the center point, as the diagonal is from one vertex of the base to the other. So the third example is the square base pyramid. A square base pyramid is a square base and 4 lateral faces. A pyramid is a polyhedron that has a base and 3 or greater triangular faces that meet at a point above the base. A square pyramid is a 3-dimensional shape that has a total of 5 faces, hence called a pentahedron. The triangular faces, which are not the polygon base, are called the lateral faces, and they meet at a point in the center of the base, which is called the vertex or the apex. Okay. So the fourth example is the triangular base pyramid. A triangular base pyramid is a pyramid that has a triangular base. In geometry, vertices are essentially corners. All triangular base pyramid, either regular or regular, have 4 vertices. It has 6 edges, 3 are along the base, and 3 are extending up from the base. The sides of the triangular prism, which are rectangle in shape, are joined with each other side by side. All cross-sections parallel to the base faces are the same as a triangle. A triangular pyramid has 4 triangular bases, unlike the triangular prism, that it is joined with each other and are congruent to each other. And the fifth example is the octahedron. An octahedron is a shape that is formed by joining by 2 pyramids at its bases. Once joined, the shape converts to 8 faces, 12 edges, and 6 vertices. An octahedron is most commonly known as the regular octahedrons, when all the faces are of the same shape and size, But in most cases, it is not necessary that all faces have to be the same to be called an octahedron. With the same size also, the shape is still called octahedron. There are two main types of solids, which are the polyhedra and non-polyhedra. A polyhedron is a three-dimensional solid made up of polygons. It has flat faces, straight edges, and vertices. For example, a cube, prism, or pyramid are polyhedrons. The plural of polyhedron is also known as polyhedra. They are classified as prisms, pyramids, and platonic solids, while the non-polyhedra are geometric designs that are not polygons, which are solids with curved surfaces or a mix of curved and flat surfaces, such as spheres, cylinders, cones, and torus. So, since I have already tackled the definition of polyhedra and non-polyhedra, I will now proceed with the different examples of polyhedra and non-polyhedra. So, I start with the polyhedra, okay? Number 1, tetrahedron. In geometry, a tetrahedron, also known as a triangular pyramid, is a polyhedron composed of 4 triangular faces, 6 straight edges, and 4 vertex corners. The tetrahedron is the simplest of all the ordinary convex polyhedra and the only one that has fewer than 5 faces. So the second example of polyhedra is a pyramid. Pyramid is a polyhedron formed by connecting a polygonal base and a point called the apex. Each base, edge, and apex form a triangle called a lateral face. It is a conic solid with a polygonal base. And there are 3 types of pyramids, which are the triangular pyramid, square pyramid, and pentagonal pyramid. Number 3, cube. A cube is a 3-dimensional solid object bounded by 6 square faces, facets, or sides, with 3 meeting at each vertex. The cube is the only regular hexahedron and is one of the 5 platonic solids. It has 6 faces, 12 edges, and 8 vertices. The structural shape of cube is diverse, including polyhedron cubes, sphere cubes, tetrahedron cube, mirror cube, gear cube, K-cube, and so on. So the number 4 is triangular prism. Triangular prism is a 3-sided prism. It is a polyhedron made of a triangle base, a translated copy, and 3 faces joining corresponding sides. Otherwise, it is oblique. So the 5th one is the cuboid. In geometry, a cuboid is a hexahedron, a 6-face solid. Its faces are quadrilaterals. Cuboids means like a cube, in that by adjusting the length of the edges and the angles between edges and faces, a cuboid can be transformed into a cube. A convex polyhedron that is bounded by 6 rectangular faces with 8 vertices, 12 edges is called a cuboid. A cuboid is also called a rectangular prism. A cuboid with 6 square faces is called a cube. Now, let's proceed with different examples of non-polyhedra. Okay, so number 1, a cone. A cone is a 3-dimensional geometric shape that tapers smoothly from a flat base to a point called the apex or vertex. A cone is formed by a set of line segments, half lines or lines connecting a common point, the apex, to all of the points on the base that is in a plane that does not contain the apex. Cone is not a polyhedron as it has a curved surface, okay? So the second example of non-polyhedron is a sphere. A sphere is a geometrical object that is a 3-dimensional analog to a 2-dimensional circle. And sphere is also the set of points that are all at the same distance r from a given point in 3-dimensional space. It has surface area, and volume based on its radius. So number 3, the cylinders. A cylinder has traditionally been a 3-dimensional solid, one of the most basic curvilinear geometric shapes. Geometrically, it has been considered as prism. With a circle as its base, these bases are normally circular in shape, like a circle, and the center of the 2 bases is joined by a line segments, which is called the axis. So the 4th example is the torus. In geometry, a torus is a surface of revolution generated by revolving a circle in three-dimensional space about an axis that is coplanar with a circle. And it is a donut shape that is formed when a circle is rotated through 360 degrees about a line in its plane but not passing through the circle itself. The word torus is derived from a Latin word meaning bulge. The plural of torus is turi. So the last example is a circle. A circle is a closed two-dimensional figure in which the set of all the points in the plane is equidistant from a given point called center. Every line that passes through the circle forms the line of reflection symmetry. Also, it has rotational symmetry around the center for every angle. And it is a closed curve that has no corners or vertices. Many round shapes in our real life are defined by circles. You may ask, what is the difference between polyhedra, Well, it's just simple. Always remember that polyhedron is a three-dimensional solid made up of polygons, while non-polyhedron sides are not polygons. They have curved surfaces and it doesn't have any faces, corners, or edges. It is easy, right? Well, let us have a quick quiz. We're just going to identify if these shapes are polyhedron or not. Are you ready? Let's begin. So number 1, cone. Is a cone a polyhedron? The answer is no. Number 2, is tetrahedron a polyhedron? The answer is yes. Number 3, is pyramid a polyhedron? What do you think? Well, the answer is yes. Number 4, is sphere a polyhedron? The answer is ding 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 ding. The answer is no. Number 5, is circles a polyhedron? Well, the answer is no. And the 6th example is that, is cuboid a polyhedron? The answer is what do you think? It is yes. And the seventh one is triangular prism a polyhedron? The answer is yes. Number 8, is cylinder a polyhedron? The answer is no. The 9th one, is cube a polyhedron? The answer is yes. And lastly, is torus a polyhedron? The answer is no. So, this will be the end of my discussion. And I would like to end it with a quote that says, "The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams." Thank you for listening, and I hope that you have learned a lot of things from this video. Keep safe always, God bless us all, and above all, to God be the glory.